All right, NSA leaker Edward Snowden speaking out for the first time since getting stuck in the Moscow airport, saying he, quote, remains free and able to publish information that serves the public interest, close quote. And according to the journalist who broke Snowden's first story, there's a lot more to come. That journalist, Glenn Greenwald of the Guardian newspaper, is my guest this morning. Glenn, thank you for joining us. So you say you have another big NSA scoop. Do you care to break it right here, right now?
Unfortunately, Eric, you're going to have to wait along with everybody else until our stories are published. But I will say that there are vast programs of both domestic and international spying that the world will be shocked to learn about, that the NSA is engaged in with no democratic accountability, and that's what's driving our reporting. You
know, Glenn, yesterday Ed Snowden released a letter to the world about the Obama administration. I'm going to paraphrase here a little bit. He's saying that the Obama administration, they're not afraid of me, Ed Snowden. They're afraid of a constitutionally informed public. Question. Do you think the Obama administration wants Snowden to come back to the U.S., or is that going to look bad for them to have him in a U.S. court?
I think what the Obama administration wants and has been trying to establish for the last almost 5 years now with the unprecedented war on whistleblowers that it is waging is to make it so that everybody is petrified of coming forward with information about what our political officials are doing in the dark that is deceitful, illegal, or corrupt. They don't care about Edward Snowden at this point. He can no longer do anything that he hasn't already done. What they care about is making an extremely negative example out of him to intimidate future whistleblowers from coming forward because they'll think that they're going to end up like him. That's their objective.
All right, so some of the new news that's breaking as we speak is that Edward Snowden has said that he's going to turn down Russia's offer, Vladimir Putin's offer, to stay in Russia. That would have required him to stop leaking information. He said, no, I don't want to do that. But he's asked for asylum up to around 20 countries or so. Some are saying no. What's the end game here for Ed Snowden?
Well, from the very first time that I spoke with him, he said that he completely understood that once he came forward against the U.S. government and the Obama administration, that he would become the most wanted man on earth and would be hunted down by the world's most powerful state, and that he felt it was worthwhile to do that because he could not in good conscience allow this massive spying program aimed at the American people to be constructed in the dark. And he said, obviously, he wants to stay out of the clutches of the U.S. government, given the way that they persecuted whistleblowers. He's obviously trying to find a place where he can do that, but his real goal is to continue to be part of the conversation about why he did what he did, what it is that he saw in the NSA, how these spying powers were being abused, and to continue to make people around the world and his fellow citizens in the United States aware of what their government is doing.
Glenn, you've been criticized, specifically David Gregory. I'm going to play this clip. I'd like you to react to it. Go ahead. Play the clip on David Gregory.
Why shouldn't you, Mr. Greenwald, be charged with a crime?
I think it's pretty extraordinary that anybody who would call themselves a journalist would publicly muse about whether or not other journalists should be charged with felony. The scandal that arose in Washington before our stories began was about the fact that the Obama administration is trying to criminalize investigative journalism by going through the emails and phone records of AP reporters, accusing a Fox News journalist of the theory that you just embraced, being a co-conspirator with felonies for working with sources.
Glenn, has David Gregory contacted you, apologized?
No, he hasn't. There was a New York Times reporter, Andrew Ross Sorkin, who went on television the next day and said I ought to be arrested, and he publicly apologized, but David Gregory has not. But look, Thomas Jefferson 250 years ago said that those who most fear investigations are the ones who attack a free press first. That's why a free press is guaranteed, so that I can, as a journalist, tell my fellow citizens that the government is collecting all of their phone records and email records and tapping into their Facebook conversations and Google chats and Skype telephone calls. This is what journalism is about, shining a light on what the most powerful people in the country are doing to them in the dark. So we're going to continue to do that no matter what David Gregory and his friends say.
Running out of time, Glenn, yes or no, have you been in contact with Ed Snowden recently?
Not since he left Hong Kong. No, I haven't.
And last question. There was a report that a laptop of yours was stolen from your apartment. I think you may have said that. Is that true? Do you have any idea who has that laptop?
No, I had talked to my partner about sending him encrypted files. 2 days later, his laptop was stolen from our house. We have no idea if it's connected to anything, but we just know it was stolen and nothing else was.
All right, we're going to go. The NSA scandal, a lot more scoop. You want to do it now? Last chance?
Just wait a little bit and you'll have it.
All right, well, I tried. All right, Glenn Greenwald, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks.